Yo guys, what is going on? Got my BT10/EX3 format BlackWarGreymon deck profile for you guys. I actually took this to the recent Arlington Regionals. I managed to place 20th out of it, out of I think like 180 something people, so just shy of top 16 there, just due to tiebreakers 1x2. I might have my matchups on screen somewhere, but my only losses were to one Crossheart, which this deck is pretty much built to beat, but unfortunately I was just outrushed, bricked game 1, and then game 2 he was just able to out my stack. But then the other loss was going to be to Grandest Quagamon. That's a pretty much unwinnable matchup, I do think. I actually played 2 Grandest and beat one of them somehow, but the other one caught up to me at the top tables, so I wasn't able to make the top 16 or top 8 cut. But I do think this deck generally did really well. There's not too much I would change about the list, but anyways, let's just go ahead and get into it and start talking about the tech choices and whatnot. So of course, for the Digi-Eggs, I am playing 4 copies of the Draw Koromon as well as 1 copy of Greymon. I wanted 5 eggs just in case of security control, which I actually didn't end up playing, but these eggs all effectively do the same thing. This one is slightly less good just because these encompass the Greymon level 4s as well, so occasionally you might need to preemptively swing with a level 4, and this is really helpful. But I definitely don't think you play the BT9 plus 1000 Koromon. I think you value the consistency above all else, because that is this deck's biggest problem, is consistency plus memory efficiency. Like, your cards are really expensive and you need your pieces, and there's not too many ways to get to them. Or at least there are, but my point is like the games you lose are due to those 2 factors. So I think having the draw Digi-Eggs is really important. And then now for the level 3, he's going to go into a pretty standard lineup, 4 copies of the Promo plus 2000, pretty much the best one to Digivolve, really strong Inherited. And then you're going to be playing 8 Searchers, effectively going to be playing the 4 BT5 Agumon on play reveal top 3, add a Greymon as well as an Omnimon. I like this one because it can search Omnimon as well. Potentially plus 2 since I am playing 1 copy of Omnimon, but then for the other Agu, I am just going to be playing the 4 copies of the Agumon X Antibody. This is really powerful because it's searchable off of Cool Boy, and then he, of course, on play or on evolve, searches your Greymon or Omnimon, of course. Can't grab both, unfortunately, but pretty much you're going to be wanting to grab a Greymon with this card. I'm not playing the Black Agumon, the one that searches Greymon plus Dragonkin, solely because he is a Black level 3, and not all of your champions do evolve from the Black color. So that's really the only unfortunate downside of that card, which is why I prefer something like X Antibody as well as the BT5 Agumon, just because this is more searchable and effectively does the same thing except doesn't get you the plus 2, but it's just more consistent. You don't ever have yourself in the situation where you want to evolve a level 3 and you've got like a security attack Greymon or something. You can't evolve it because your level 3 is black. So anyways, that's going to do it for the Agumons. Pretty normal lineup, I would like to think. And then for the Greymons, going to be playing, of course, the best one, the best inherited effect in the deck, I think, is going to be your Blocker Greymon. This card is very essential to see early on, especially against your more aggro matchups like Imperial Dramon, like Crossheart, and stuff like that. So this card, really important. The games you lose is because you didn't see this early enough against Crossheart. I said game 1, I break in game 2, I was able to establish a stack. But this wasn't on there, and so I was, being a little bit aggro, and my stack died to Death X and Security, but not being able to see this, not preventing the early swings, just like turn 2 to turn 3, I already am down to like 2 Security because there's nothing really stopping them from swinging. This is very important to see, and hence why I'm playing 4. The other Greymons, 3 copies of the Greymon X Antibody. This one is not really great against Cross, so I was considering cutting this down a little bit. 3 is, I think, is good though, because you still definitely want to be aware of Melga and stuff like armor stuff that can bounce and bottom deck your stuff. I was playing against Melga, and this was really clutch because it basically forces you to bounce them to bounce your stuff twice. And then they were also playing the new BG10 X Antibody Omnimon. So I had this underneath a Gaiomon stack, and then they Digivolved it to bottom deck it, but of course I can attach to the same level to be able to save it. So really, really powerful inherited effect. And the other 2 Greymons just can be playing 2 the Sec Attack +1, pretty standard, and then 2 of the BT5 +2000. This guy is really, really good. I know a lot of lists are not playing this, but I think this card is really, really crazy. For the inherited effect is nice. However, in this format, there's not too many really giant stacks you need to get over. In the past, this was really good because you can swing into a Mother D-Reaper, you know, put your Gudoo to 16k. Being able to swing over Death X and stuff is nice too, but the main reason is because, again, it helps out with your memory efficiency. Being able to evolve for 1 is really, really clutch. There were a lot of times where if I have like a memory tamer plus like a memory boost out, I can go rookie, promote, Digivolve for 1, Digivolve Metal Gray for 4, Devolve pop something, and then go straight into like a Gaio play or a BlackWarGreymon. So this guy being effectively able to evolve for 1 is really, really powerful. And then for the level 5s, pretty standard lineup. Of course, going to be playing 4 copies of the best one. That is going to be the BT8 Metal Greymon. This guy has 2 really, really powerful effects. The inherited effect being very, very oppressive against 1 stack deck. So, of course, when Digivolving, Digivolve 1, and then delete something with 3000 or lower. The Digivolve is just such a really powerful mechanic. There's basically no protection of it as far as the current game goes, and being able to just make it easier to out things. There was one game against the Alphamon player where I Digivolve his Oryukin, and then he has like a Dorgray underneath it, so it becomes just a 7000 Digimon. They can't be destroyed by card effects or anything, but I can just run over it. Like if I've got this guy plus an inherited, I can just swing over it because it becomes like 10,000 or something like that. So Metal Greymon really good for that reason. And then of course your turn, when this Digimon has Dragonkin in its traits or machine, I can attack an unsuspended Digimon as well. So just being able to attack like BlackWarGreymon, swing into something, unsuspend, swing into something else is really, really crazy. And then for the other really oppressive card versus the Crossheart matchup is going to be 3 copies of Megadramon. This card has really, really put in work against Crossheart. It is better to see this card than Metal Greymon, to be honest, because of the 1 Digivolving effect, really, really strong, being able to delete a Tamer of play cost 3 or less. Digimon as well, both the effects do the same thing effectively, just deleting something with 3 cost or lower. Typically, you're going to aim for their Tamers though, deleting their Taikis, as well as getting rid of the materials underneath it is really important. But then being able to swing with this, and then the one attacking not being once per turn is pretty huge. There were a couple times where I had like a BlackWarGreymon on top of this, and then you like swing security, effect, delete like a Starmons or something, unsuspend, check a card, and then swing again, pop a Tamer. Or just being able to like go Gaiomon, check 2, pop a Tamer is really, really crazy. And this plus BlackWarGreymon kills like 3 Tamers effectively. Like evolving this, popping up 3 cost, BlackWarGreymon popping 2/3 cost for maybe a tie or something is really, really powerful. So Megadramon just insane against the Crossheart matchup. It's okay against some other matchups. Against Alphamon is really good too. Being able to pop their Yugis and Cool Boys pretty frequently to memory choke them and not getting value off of those Tamers is really, really strong as well. And that's probably one of the reasons I was carried through the Alphamon matchup. But against a lot of the other decks, it's not too powerful. But you definitely need to play it because at this event, Crossheart was still full power. Going forward in the future, you probably don't really need this card too much. And then for the other level 5s, playing 1 Alterius mode just to pop 5Ks or lower, being able to evolve on this is really good. This was really, really clutch against Grandis. There was one turn where I like evolved Metal Greymon, devolved the Grandis, and then like popped one of his like Kokuomons, and then Digivolve this for 0, popped the Kabuterimon blocker, and I was able to like go Gaiomon, swing over his stack, and then reestablish my board through there. So Alterius mode for that is really good, and then the inherited effect is good as well. Chimeramon is going to be our last level 5 here. This is just really good for fixing stacks. Sometimes if you don't see your inheriteds that you need to see, but they were in security, like the Megadramon or the Greymon blocker, you can just stick them underneath with your Chimeramon, or even get like 2 stacks of inheriteds. Like getting like 2 Megadramons underneath is really crazy, but just fixing stacks and then going for OTKs is really nice as well. There's a really cool combo that I like to do with this card plus the promo BlackWarGreymon. So that's going to do it for the level 5s. And for level 6 is pretty standard lineup of just 3 copies of BlackWarGreymon. I think this was enough, especially, or even against Crossheart. Like, you are typically passing turn with this. You don't need it more than once or twice in a game, typically. So seeing this is 3 is totally fine. And then 3 copies of Gaiomon. I was playing 2 for testing purposes, just because this isn't as powerful against Crossheart, but against pretty much every deck, Gaio is better than regular BlackWar. Like, Devolve, Sec Attack +1, Reboot Blitz is such an absurd combo. Like, Blitz, Sec Attack +1 is already crazy enough, but being able to Devolve so you can effectively out anything via battle is really, really crazy. And then Reboot being able to dodge like your opponent swinging over your Gaiomon is really, really strong, and then having the option of Reboot Blocker as well, being able to like swing, check 2, and then you still reboot and you can still block during your opponent's turn is really, really crazy. And then the other level 6 is just going to be 1 copy of the promo BlackWarGreymon. I still think this card is really, really insane. Definitely worth playing. Won me a lot of games. There were plenty of times where like I just had like 1 stack, even like without the Chimeramon combo. Like, there was times where I had like a full stack of like a level 2 something like Greymon, and then like a level 4, and then like the BlackWarGreymon, and then you just like this by itself is like almost no OTK. Like, you swing, check 2, like unsuspend, and then you can go like Gaiomon on top of this, check 3, and that's 5 security, and then Omni. I did that against a Minerva Loop player, so there's just still a lot of really cool combos you can do. The main one being with Chimeramon, if you've got like these 2 in hand. Again, this is really powerful against Set Control, and this plus Delicate Plan was kind of my win button against Set Control. The kind of combo you can do is if you've got like, you pretty much wait in the back until you've got like this stack with like Greymon plus some of the inherited here. So like you've got this stack coming out, and then you like hard play Greymon, you like make Chimeramon, and then you like stick a black card underneath it, or whatever you're missing. Maybe if you had like the BlackWarGreymon underneath already, but you just need a black card to be able to evolve this. And then you basically have like this stack where you like swing a bunch of times, you check 2, you Delicate Plan it, so then it checks 2 on first swing, and then unsuspend, check 2, and then like unsuspend, check 2. So that's 6 checks already. And then if you need more, you can also slap a Gaio on top of it, and then Omni on top of that afterwards. But this card I still think is really, really insane. Just to clear boards, has a lot of versatility just in general. So that's going to do it for level 6s. Level 7s, 1 copy of Omni just to close out games, 1 copy of Death X. This was pretty terrible, to be honest. I didn't drop this like ever. It sucks against the 1-stack decks, sucks against your worst matchup, which is Grandis. Good against Crossheart and Armor, I guess, but if they know what they're doing, they... well, Crossheart can't really avoid it, but I didn't draw this against Crossheart. And Armor, if they know what they're doing, they probably won't put more than 2 to 3 things on their field anyways. So this is probably the most cuttable thing out of the entire deck. If I was going to cut this, I'd probably just play like another Cool Boy, another Memory Tamer, or something like that, just to guarantee more memory. But Omni was really, really powerful throughout the entire tournament. And then for the Tamers, just a simple 2 copies of Tai, as well as 2 copies of Cool Boy. I didn't want to lose out to Death X too much, so I kind of tried to cut or minimize the amount of Tamers I was playing. Tai was really, really good over Hero, just, of course, again, because you don't really need your Gaiomon to be bigger than, like, 13,000, 14,000. There were a couple times, like, there was literally once where I wish this was a Hero, just swinging into the Shoutmon player's security, and I hit a Death X, but that's just, like, the chances of that are just so low. I don't think it's worth running Hero in this format. Cool Boy's still really good, but he does whiff occasionally, which is why I think 2 copies is fine. You pretty much, if you see like 1 Tai, 1 Cool Boy, that's like all you need to see. And then also, like, I was worried about like playing a BlackWar Mirror, in which case you really don't want to play Tamers like whatsoever, because they'll just get rid of them. So I thought this lineup was fine. And then the card that I was really banking on that doesn't lose to either BlackWar or Death X is going to be 4 copies of Red Memory Boost. This was totally great, having a consistency card that you want to see opening game. Opening turn, like every game, is really, really powerful. This never whiffs, whereas Cool Boy whiffs a pretty decent amount of time. The only downside about this card is that it can't grab your black blocker Greymon. But other than that, doesn't lose to Death X. No one's playing memory blockers as of now, aside from like maybe Purple's playing Gazimon or something like that. But this was totally fine. And then the last card I already talked about is going to be one copy of Delicate Plan to round off the main deck. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the BlackWarGreymon deck profile. Like I said, this list probably won't change for EX3. Pretty much, I would keep it more or less the same, but I would recommend probably not playing Death X. Maybe something like a Gaia Force, or maybe some more defensive options like Crimson Blaze might be useful, but I thought this list worked out pretty well for me. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.